If you look at the pictures of the plane, it seems to be that there was no declared emergency. Certainly it was not expected that anything was going wrong with the flight, at least that's what we know at the moment. It makes a landing and then, for whatever reason, it skids along the runway. But if you look at one of those particular videos, you will see that the right engine becomes completely disengaged from the aircraft. So either the landing gear collapsed, whether that's the front nose gear or the main gear, or one of the wings touched the ground or the engine touched the ground, but certainly in the process of the skid, that right engine becomes disengaged from the aircraft. A fire ensues, which is not surprising, bearing in mind that the plane would have had its emergency and go around fuel still in the tanks. And then you get this explosion of one of the fuel tanks, and you see a large part of the wing fly off into the air. Now, the plane is designed to be evacuated by all passengers within 90 seconds. And that even includes allowing for half the doors not to be used. And you can see why from these pictures, because obviously, even though slides may have been deployed on the right side of the aircraft, if that is where the fire is, you're going to want the passengers to evacuate from the left side of the plane. Dubai Airport, which has two very long runways, more than 13,000 feet, 4,000 meters long, and this plane was coming in on 12 left, which is, they're two identically parallel runways of exactly the same length. So Christy, there you have the sort of the scenario we've got. A picture perfect, if you like, rescue, evacuation, emergency services going exactly as it was supposed to. But make no bones about it, this was an extremely serious and potentially deadly incident.
And we can see that just looking at the video, as you call it, a picture-perfect rescue despite that scary situation there. Hundreds of people managed to be evacuated safely. No reports of injuries. It's miraculous. And right now, we know that at the airport, all flights and departures from Dubai International have been suspended. So, Richard, what needs to happen next before flights can take off again?
Well, first of all, we need to know a little bit more about where the aircraft actually came to rest. Had it already left the runway, or is it on the runway, or is it straddling the runway and the grass verges? That's the first thing, because obviously runway 12 left, 30 right is inoperable for the foreseeable future. But Dubai does have two airports, and it is experienced at using single runway operations. It had to do it when one of the runways was under maintenance. But we learned from that incident that it is delayed because the airspace around Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Qatar is extremely congested because so much airspace is restricted for military that actually there are going to be delays. I mean, I think Emirates is being somewhat optimistic when they talk about a 4 or 6 or an 8-hour delay. They will get operations started again, but it will take a long time to get anything back to normal, because the one thing the investigators won't do is move the damaged plane. They need to know not only and photograph and examine not only the plane in situ, but they need to look at the runway, the grooving, the friction. They need to understand what the surrounding environment was for that aircraft when it touched down, and clearly what went wrong. And then, of course, they need to extract from the aircraft things like the flight data recorder. How heavy was the landing? What speed was the plane coming in? What attitude did the pilots have it in? What role did the pilots and the airport have in all of this?